In a previous video, I was talking about the different types of African violets that you could try to grow in your collection and some general maintenance tips. But today I wanted to talk about some advanced tips to help keep your plants happy and healthy. African violets tend to grow like a palm tree. They have a central stem that the leaves are attached to, and then they start to grow up. As that plant matures, what can happen is those bottom leaves are going to fall off and are going to be left what is called a neck. And that neck is nothing more than the central stem. And what you can do to help cover that, or to help keep the plant looking good in the container, or from it to actually crawling out of the pot, is called potting down. And this is when we're going to take the plant out of the pot, and we're going to take about a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch of the root ball off of the bottom, and we're going to stick it back into the container. When we take the plant out of the container, it might be a good idea to actually wash the container to help get any of those salts that build up, any of those water stains off of it. It just makes the plant look prettier. When you have the plant out of the container, we're also going to be removing some of those older bottom leaves. This is going to help keep the plant a little bit shorter and nice and neat in the pot. So when we're potting down, we're taking about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of the root ball off of the bottom, and we're going to take off some of those older leaves and stick it back in the container and backfill with some fresh potting mix. When we do this, it's not uncommon for the plant to get dirty, that we're going to get some soil on the plant leaf. And how we can clean the leaf, it's pretty simple. African violet leaves are hairy, that they have these really fine hairs on the leaf, and they all tend to face the same direction. So what we can do to help keep the plant clean, or when we go to clean it, is we're going to start at the base of the leaf and we're going to move forward. So when we take our brush, we're going to just brush it from the back to the front, and this is going to get that debris off of the leaf without raising those hairs, because if you do it the opposite way, some of that potting mix can actually get stuck in the plant or around the leaf itself, and it's not going to look as pretty as it could. So start at the back and work your way forward, and this is going to get the debris off. And you can use some old paint brushes, any old makeup brush. Toothbrushes tend to be too rough, and they can scratch the surface and cause issues down the road. When the flowers start to fade, it's best to take those off. So what we want to do is just take any of those spent flowers and just pull off the flower stem. And this is going to keep the plant looking nice and neat. It also helps encourage more flowers to develop. So when those flowers start to fade, just pop those off, and the plant's going to start producing more. It's going to keep the plant looking nice and neat. African violets are famous for being propagated by their leaves, and one of the things that you can do to help grow your collection, or even share it with your friends and neighbor, is when you're out there cleaning the plant, you can put some of those leaves down. You're going to take a small 2-inch solo cup or something of this size. It doesn't have to be very large, and you're just going to put some potting mix in it, and then you're going to dampen it. Then you're going to take that leaf that you just took off your plant. We want to make sure that it's a nice green leaf, or it has a healthy leaf. And we're going to put it in our little cup, and then we're going to put it in our Ziploc baggie to make a nice little greenhouse effect. It's going to take anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months before you get new plants growing. So hopefully you can find some of these tips helpful to help keep your plant looking good and thriving.
10 seconds. 10 seconds.